12.
Yo, what's good, y'all? This is Doug E. Fresh.
Hey, Redman is in the building. You already know.
Hey guys, this is Emily Peachy.
Shout out, man, to Worldwide Collaborations, man.
I want to shout out Worldwide Collaborations LLC.
Shout out to the Worldwide Collaborations LLC.
World movement, beyond thousands of movements.
The world movement, beyond thousands of movements.
All about representing each other together. So check this out.
What's up? You want to be a part of this? You want to be a part of the Worldwide Collaboration?
You guys should all be a part of Worldwide Collaboration.
Worldwide Collaborations LLC. Check us out, man, and check what's going on, man. Word up. I have recently been choosing to be a spokesman and an ambassador, so you will see a lot more of me. Join the movement, man. It's beyond thousands of movements right now and talents put together, all about representing each other together.
I want to join, so I might see you there. All right, much success.
Is a worldwide. All right. Welcome back to another star-studded episode of this Exquisite Conversations podcast, which is owned by Miss Nicole Jordan. In her absence, I'll be taking the floor. And shout out to her company, the Exquisite PR Firm. And I do appreciate her for having me on board with the Exquisite PR Firm. So, we're back again with another star-studded episode. And, I have a return guest. He's been on here before. None other than my people's King Venom. What's going on, man?
Man, all is well, King. Once again, thank you for having me on your platform. Salute to the Queen in her absence. Most definitely, we're going to keep these exquisite conversations going.
No doubt. So, before we get started, man, I always like to ask, so the audience at home will know, who is King Venom?
Indeed. Just to, come from the heart, come from the soul with it. King Venom, that's a young man that was raised by his grandfather on morals and principles. Hit his head against life's walls, but at the same time going through the pitfalls, found how to balance the difference between the metaphysical and the physical, and doing my best to show not just my peers but the youth as well how to remain humble, how to remain righteous, and put your talent to the forefront. And all I do, I just love independent artists. I love creators. I love our culture. I love our community, and I'll stand 10 toes down for our community.
Okay. I can dig it, man. I can dig it. So, the topic is how the foreign exchange market can help fund a person's music career. And so you are very fluent in the foreign exchange market. And in your opinion, how can that help fund an artist's music career?
Indeed. Honestly, I can just come from my personal experience, coming into the independent side of the music industry. A lot of people, they sit there and see what they see on TV, but they don't understand the grind that come behind it, the investment that come behind it. A lot of people will sit there and say they want to get on, they want to be signed, they want somebody to drop a bag on, but you got to show that you're willing to invest in yourself first. And I've always been taught, investment. My granddad gave me the rule of a third: live off a third, save a third, invest a third. But I always was sitting there trying to find that niche. I was trying to find that vehicle to help propel myself. And luckily, just being in the right place at the right time, I found different mentors that were able to put that bug in my ear and show me, hey, there's a whole different way that you can participate in the exchange of currency. There's a whole different way that the wealthy move versus sitting there working the 40, 40 hours a week, 40 years to only get 40% of a return of the investment of the effort and energy that you put into somebody else's. And honestly, with the foreign exchange market, it's really been a blessing. Because honestly, if you sit there and stay dedicated, if you study your strategy and you understand the flags within yourself, the triggers within yourself on how to remain calm within this market, because it can fluctuate There's no such thing as a guarantee within this market, whether it's foreign exchange, whether it's stocks, with any type of investment. But it's all calculated risk that you make for yourself. Going for your passion in life, you're gonna sit there and make a calculated risk. There's no guarantee that you're gonna come through it like you want to, but what you got to do is get dedicated, stay humble, always put God first, and never chase the bag, but allow the bag to chase.
Okay, man. So, with that being said, you also teach classes as well?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have a Third Eye Empire chat. We have different platforms that we have our classes on. I personally teach people within our community, whether it's online via phone or whether I go person to person within our community. Sometimes that's frowned upon within different political structures. When you're going into impoverished neighborhoods and you're showing how to not be consumers or super consumers, as they like to label it, but instead start looking for ownership, start figuring out ways to leverage your money for yourself. But that's what a lot of people fear. But honestly, when our community understands the power within our dollar, there's nothing that can really stop it.
So what's interesting to me, I was reading something on Instagram Reel, and they was talking about Chinese people and Japanese people and Korean people, and how their money go through their communities at least 15 times before it hits America. And they was talking about Jamaicans and Haitians and the Jewish people and the Polish people and even the white people. It hit their hands 9 times before it go to outside source. But they said with our culture, it only hits our hands 1 time, then it's gone. And I make that statement to say this: why do you think that is? It hit our hands 1 time and then it's gone.
From personal experience and from what I've personally seen and what I've been taught from my mentors as well as my late grandfather, honestly, the problem is cognitive dissonance. Because as a people, we've always been a rich people, and we've always been an open people where we teach our knowledge, where we teach how to maintain wealth, because the original banking system was built by us. Currency was by us. Numbers was by us. But if you look as far as America, we have multiple generations that wasn't financially literate, and it's not really their fault. They was going off things that they were taught. But one of my mentors described it like this: once there was a granddaughter, she learned how to cook. She was sitting there trying to cook a ham in a stove, right? She was asking her grandma why we cut the edges off, right? She was asking her mom why we cut the edges off. The mom was like, I don't know, ask your grandma. Grandma, when she went to ask her, she was like, I don't know, ask your great grandma. The great grandma was like, well, baby, we didn't have a pan that big, so we had to cut the edges off. So for multiple generations, they were sitting there cutting off extra meat that they could have fed the family. And that's the same way we're doing right now as far as financial literacy goes. We're just passing on traditionally what we know, but at the same time, it's only getting us to the same space. We have to start young, and we have to start teaching our children different ways to protect themselves. Just getting a house, that's not necessarily a real asset. Once you sit there and get a house, you're paying that property tax, and it might be cool for you, but when you go to pass it on to that child, and now it's in that child's name, it's a new level of tax that's going to be on that child. And again, I'm not a tax advisor, I'm not a financial advisor, but I educate people. This is all for educational purposes. But at the same time, we're not being taught what is a trust. How do we set up a trust to be a safe haven for our children? How do we set up our children to be beneficiaries of that trust? How do we set up our LLCs under that trust? These are all things that we're not being taught in school. We're not being taught this in the community. And why? Because even in the school system, we're taught to be workers. The modern day public school system was literally designed to create more workers to manage the lower level work. It was never to sit there and put you into the next tax bracket or the next stratus of living. And honestly, just having that cognitive dissonance alone, whether it's the financial systems or whether it's spiritual, the longer that you go, you're sitting there just thinking that this is the right way, but at the same time, you're getting further and further from the truth.
All right, man. You heard what he said. He broke it down, on different levels on why money slipped through our hands, and we're gonna be right back, man. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and shout out to the Village Global Network for tapping in with us. We definitely appreciate you for tapping in, and we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we'll be live right back on Exquisite Conversations Podcast with none other than my man King Venom. Shout out to my Chicago family, Born Hungry Apparel. Two brothers that started a business, major, urban clothing line out there and doing their thing, man, and be having some fashion shows coming up in 2025, and I'm gonna connect with you on that, King Venom, so we can bring them down your way as well.
Most definitely. Man, look, everything that they were showcasing was definitely fire, and I definitely got to tap in with them. My son, he spent a lot of time out in Southside Chicago, so I definitely got to show love out there to Chicago as well. So we definitely got to make that Mississippi Chicago.
Okay, no problem. So now we're talking about these artists and using the stock market and making a worthy investment. So, do you teach people as far as a PowerPoint presentation on what to do, or do you show them how to run the demo version of the foreign exchange?
The first thing I always say, well, first and foremost, it's always one-on-one, whether it's via Zoom or whether it's in person. I love teaching people in person because you can just feel the energy and you can really connect with somebody and make sure that they're really getting it. But I always tell people, if you're going to hop in this market, you need to be in the market for a few cycles, right? For a couple quarters, because the first quarter is not going to move like the second quarter. Second quarter not going to move like the third quarter. So you need to get your reps up. It's just like if you're playing basketball, coach is not going to put you on the court varsity and expect you to sit there and run up and down the court and be able to hang with the seniors, hang with the juniors. Nah. We need to make sure that you have your fundamentals down pat. We need to make sure that you understand, what is a morning star? What are your pips? What's your lot size? Are you over leveraging? Are you making sure that you're sticking to your strategy? you making sure that you have a trading plan throughout the day. I always teach people, you got to make sure that you journal, every day. What are your trades? What was the outcome? What was I thinking? What was I feeling? Because you got to be aware of all these different triggers. Your emotions sometimes, it'll get you into what's called revenge trading, which is when, say, you might take a small loss. Some people will sit there and keep chasing, trying to get that back, versus being like, what, the market is acting crazy right now. Let me go ahead and sit down, watch the market, get back in my demo, and get my reps back up. People will blow a bag sitting there chasing or trying to trade off of emotions versus trading off their strategy. So you definitely got to start in your demo first, and then you build into your live account. And then once you get into your live account, you need to start small and work your way big. Because again, whether it's any type of investment, you never sit there and put more than you're quote unquote willing to lose. So you need to sit there, whether it's a third of whatever you're bringing in for that week, whether it's $50, $100, and build your bag. And as you're more and more confident, now you can sit there and put a little more in and keep building your bag and keep what I like to say is having compound interest within your account.
So when we're talking about stocks, penny stocks, dividend stocks, foreign exchange, so do you use any other strategies besides foreign exchange, or is it only foreign exchange?
As far as outside of foreign exchange, what I've been doing a lot of research in, and what I've been doing a lot of movement within, I have been basically growing my money with what they like to call REITs, which is different stocks that is basically controlling, just like if you go to Walmart, you go to Target, things of that nature, right? There's a company that owns that land. Now, that means every month there's somebody paying that company to use that land. Walmart ain't going nowhere. Target ain't going nowhere. Now, again, always do your research, but you got to find what's going to be consistent for you. And also, I always tell people, like, there's a lot of artists that's out there. They'll sit there and go party. They like they say, throw that phone. You feel me? But at the same time, you're sitting there purchasing products and merchandise for somebody else's business, making their family rich, making their last name rich. But at the same time, you have no ownership other than some clothes that's on your back, a new whip, drinking Hennessy, things of that nature. But instead, why not, if you're going to the club all the time, why not own stock in Hennessy? Or why not own stock in whatever your favorite drink, or whatever your favorite clothes, or if you got your favorite brand of shoes, Jordans, things of that nature, why not own a piece of that? And now that's an asset that's continuing to grow. And it can be small stocks at a time. And then you can sit there and continue to build those assets, something that you can now leverage and pass on to your different beneficiaries. But most definitely, whether it's different CDs, whether it's different stocks, REITs, those are all things. You have to have multiple streams of income. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. You have to diversify. Because if you don't diversify, like my granddad would say, you just leave your ass in the pan.
Okay. I can dig it. So, as far as you as an artist, man, what is the thing that, for indie artists, what type of mistakes do you see an independent artist making?
It's a lot of them, but we've all made those mistakes. But it's a matter of, are you going to learn from your mistakes? One thing, myself personally, when I first got into the industry, I thought, oh well, instantly, if I get booked for a show and I'm paid for that show, oh, I'm not supposed to promote. That's BS. Nah. First and foremost, these people gave you an opportunity. The first thing that you're supposed to be doing is promoting, helping to pack out that venue, right? You're supposed to sit there and let everybody that's part of your fan base know where you need to pull up. You have to make sure that everything that you're a part of, that your name is attached to, is highly visible and highly successful. Also, a lot of artists, they want to sit there and instantly stay in the game. They want to sit there and charge everybody for their feature. Why not build your network? If you're building your network and both you and the other artists are constantly pushing and growing your fan base, y'all are adding value. Okay, but y'all are adding value to the projects that y'all are part of. So now on the back end, y'all are constantly growing, and on top of that, that's creating relationships. In this industry, it's all about relationships. It's all about how you treat people. I know a lot of artists that have come and gone all because they thought that they was a stuff every time that they came to a show. They thought they was a stuff when they came to the studio, but a lot of their opportunities dried up all because somebody didn't like your attitude. My granddad always said, you treat everybody with respect that you come across. It don't matter what position that man has. It don't matter if he a janitor, if he a ditch digger. That could be the next CEO 10 years down the road.
Right.
That could be the person that when you face down in the dirt, gives you a helping hand because they remember how you treat them. They remember your integrity. They remember how the energy that you have on stage. They remember the wise words you gave them or the love that you showed them when nobody else did. So a lot of people mess up with that. A lot of people mess up with showing up late. I hate that. If we sit there and set up a studio time, hey, I'm always 30 minutes to an hour early because, like we said earlier, I want to get my reps. I want to make sure that everything's tight. I want to make sure that everything is precise to not just me, also the other artists around. Same with a show. I want to be, because I came up in an era where it's to a studio, not a studio, but the club or a festival or things of that nature, and you wanted to get into the actual performance, you had to help the DJ set everything up. You had to help carry crates. I feel like that part of the game is missing now because everything went digital. But at the same time, you can still help set up the show. You can still, you know what I'm saying, put your ego to the side and help put this stage together, or you know what I'm saying, help the security at the door get everything together. Or talk with the owner. Is there anything that you need me to do? You know what I'm saying? It's all about, are you willing to put that extra effort in?
Right. Okay, I can dig it. So, you know, our homegirl Kaylee got this music and food festival coming up, and I know that she's worked hard. This is her second year, so it is an annual event, and the type of jewels that she dropped on artists, man. Why do you think that they don't really listen or they don't take heed to what she's saying? Because in all reality, she put this festival on for artists to give them a sense of urgency. Like, let's bring these great artists out in Mississippi and surrounding areas. And, you know, she's doing it for the whole state. And so why do you think that people don't take heed of what she's doing or be appreciative of what she's doing and understand that this is very informative information that you're going to get? Because not only do you get to perform, but you get to network with some amazing people that you don't see every day.
Indeed. Well, first and foremost, shout out Queen Kaylee Sidris. That's big sis right there. Been Loctite for a long time. And as far as putting on these different events, that queen has been doing this for the longest. As far as the Mississippi Music Food Ride Festival, it's been 2 years now. But this queen has been going around doing shows and festivals, putting on for the culture of independent artists for the longest, whether it's for the state or independent culture as a whole. Now, why a lot of artists ain't listening, I feel like it's pure ego. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people feel like, oh, they know best, or you know what I'm saying, they have the right way. But like I said, my late granddad always said, if somebody has wisdom or has already, you know, been down a path and has figured out what the pothole was, or is trying to warn you, hey, there's a wall right here. And in reality, you're not gonna run head first into a wall. So if somebody's sitting there telling you that this is gonna be a complication later on, or you need to pay attention to this, you need to take heed to that, because that person is sitting there showing love. A lot of people sit there and charge a hefty fee just to have maybe 30 minutes of their time. This queen is literally giving her time, her energy, because she loves music. This woman has loved music as long as I've known her from college, and she's always supported independent artists. So I don't know why people are not paying attention and taking heed, but I do know the real artists, the ones that is truly passionate about it, and this is their craft, and it's not just a hustle. They're paying attention, they're taking notice, and not just the independent artists, but the industry as a whole. Shout out to Queen Kaylee Sidris. Shout out to DJ Baby Boy. Shout out to DJ Creator. All these different people have been sitting there just knee deep in the culture, trying to help all these independent artists that really want to make something happen. Just build from the ground up. But a lot of people got to get that ego out the side and understand you gotta start from the mud. And if you're not willing to grind from the mud and take these lessons from people who have been there, then this ain't for you.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know, she always been one that she put her money where her mouth is, and
Facts.
if she speak up, if she speak on it, she stand on top of it. You know what I mean? She gonna stand on business every time, and you know that's why I did with her, because she's an inspiring person, and she's a motivational type person. So you want them good people around you, and you want them good people in your ear. And so, man, what can you tell me about Mississippi hip hop? How has it grown in the last 5 years, in your personal opinion, or how has Southern hip hop grown in the last? Cause you know they tell me, executives tell me, hey AJ, listen, man, you're not gonna have to worry about their drill music and their trap music in here in a minute, man, because the whole industry want to do away with it, because there's been too many people, you know, losing their life behind the drill and the trap music. And I said, so what they going back to? They said, man, they going back to the boom bap when they have Lloyd Banks and all these other cats, Joel Santana out, and they gonna go back to the feel good dance music. You know what I mean? Because they're tired of having to. So this is what people don't understand. When a label know that a rapper is in the streets, and the label know they got 1 foot in the studio and 1 foot in the streets, the label, after they sign them and they have their paperwork, they instantly go take a $5 million insurance policy out on their artist, or $10 million insurance policy. Because you remember, when you sign with the label, your paperwork has all your information on it: name, birthday, social security number, all that. So they have everything that they need, and you know, you got to understand, you know, you may have a sister, brother, cousin, or something that you're close to, but they have to call them to make one of them a beneficiary because of the lifestyle you're living. And, you know, I just don't know why, you know, you guys see each other all week in the streets, and you wait till it's a performance at the club or a venue somewhere to fight each other. That makes no sense. Like you want a tough guy when you see him walking in passing. Do you know what I mean? But you wait where these people have worked a 9 to 5 all the week, want to come out, have a good time, want to take a load off, and you want to show out. That makes no sense to me. And so, with that being said, man, do you think drill music and trap rap have left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth that may want it to invest in hip hop or invest in a hip hop artist?
Well, to even dive into that part, my personal understanding, my personal observation of it is, there's always been different aspects of hip hop, but at the same time, the light switches depending on who or what the agenda is for that time.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when gangster rap first came out, right? There was an agenda behind it. There were meetings behind that. Why? To sit there and fill up private prisons. All right. Drill music. It was a major push to sit there and have drill music. Just about every label had a drill artist. Flooded the airways with it. Meanwhile, we been had lyrical hip hop. Meanwhile, we been had storytellers. Meanwhile, we been had dancing music. But now you sit there and look, people go to the club. Men ain't dancing with the women. The men standing on the wall. Women might dance with each other for a minute, and then that be it. As far as people showing out, it's just like high school. People will sit there and see you all day, all week in your neighborhood, but won't do anything. They'll sit there and wait till you get to school, and now they want to show out because they got an audience now. They know that they're not going to take accountability within themselves and do what needs to be done to build themselves up, be in whatever position that they want to be in, and they see somebody else shining, so now they want to sit there and target that person. Because really, the thing that they're hating is whatever they're personally having conflict within themselves.
Right.
Now, as far as trap music, I personally feel like if that's really your background, that's really what you came from. First and foremost, the rule was to get yourself out the street, to have something legitimate. So you ain't supposed to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. If I can be frank, damn some street credit. Just be real with yourself. You ain't got to sit. Once you done made it, why are you going right back? The only time that you're supposed to be going back is to give somebody a helping hand, not causing more problems. Not to be sitting there flooding the block with, you know what I'm saying, more weaponry. You're supposed to be doing like Nip was doing, you know what I'm saying, creating programs, creating like STEM programs, helping people learn how to invest, helping people to see how they're supposed to get to whatever craft they want to be, whether it's a builder, whether it's an artist, whether it's a doctor. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to be gangster, the real gangsters were sitting there giving scholarships. The real gangsters was helping build stuff. The real gangsters was giving back. There was rules to it. Now people want to sit there and be big dog, but they don't understand. It's rules and regulations to what you're supposed to be doing, whether it's in the physical realm or the metaphysical realm. Metaphysically, if you got a debt and you ain't paid the debt, if you sitting there just all you doing is taking from the neighborhood, guess what? Something gonna come back and bite you. Same way with the physical side. You gotta sit there and show. My granddad always said, why would I sit there and want to lay my head in an area I destroyed? If I came from that area, if I'm truly proud of that area, if I'm putting on that neighborhood, why not sit there and put something in that person's mind? Why not show this person, okay, if you really want to be an artist, all right, this is the right way to do it. This is what you got to pay attention to within the business. All right, cool. You tired of quote unquote the 9-to-5 life. All right, let me show you how to take that 9-to-5 bread, invest it in something, so now it has compound interest over time, and now you can sit there and utilize a different skill set. Now that has given you the capital necessary so you can invest in something, or you can start your own business. And there's a lot of businesses out there that don't require a hefty investment. But the crazy part about it is the same type of energy that you put into, ripping and running the streets. And I had to learn this myself. The same type of energy you put into ripping and running the streets, you're so brilliant as a businessman, you can sit there and do that legitimately, protect your family, and they never have to worry about that. Because the biggest gangsters I ever knew in my life, their kids is in private school, their kids are learning trades, their kids are becoming doctors, lawyers, their kids are learning different skill sets to now carry that name to where it's going multiple generations deep. Because I don't care if you're a Christian, Muslim, whatever it is, all these spiritual books say a good man sits there and gives an inheritance 1 generation deep. A great man leaves an inheritance 1 generation deep.
Facts. Big facts, man. We here with King Venom, and we dropping some jewels. We chopping it up about artists, about the benefits of foreign exchange, man, and we just dropping jewels about life in general, man. So y'all stay tuned. We're gonna be right back. We're gonna go to another commercial break, and after the commercial break, we are going to talk about community development and how it can help the arts of music. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Shout out to the men that just came home from jail and said no matter what the circumstances is, I'm never going back. Shout out to the men that said I'm tired of neglecting my children. I'm stepping up and being a man for my children, teaching them morals, honor, responsibility. Shout out to the men that say, you know what, I'm tired of sleeping on that couch. I'm tired of using my mother. I'm tired of using that girl. I'm going to step up and be a man for me. Shout out to the men that just graduated from college or going to college. Shout out to the men that graduated from trade school. Shout out to the men that say, yo, I'm just tired of being tired and I need to make a change. Shout out to the men that stayed there, that's raising their children. Shout out to the men that's getting married or want to stay married. Shout out to the men that's taking care of children that's not biologically theirs. Shout out to the men that's trying to figure it out. Shout out to the men because you are a beautiful soul. Shout out to the men that's just being a part of everybody's life to make a change, man. Stop the violence.
Ooh, listen, man.
That took me right there, King.
Listen, man. That's my man, B. McFly, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, man. Brother, you know, he did what he did when he was in the streets once upon a time, came home, started his nonprofit, and he's really trying to make an impact, you know, in the community, the school system. You know, he's raising awareness on fatherhood. He's raising awareness that there are good men out there. And he's raising awareness with the children and letting the young men know that's going to be the future of tomorrow, that you can do something positive. You don't have to be a statistic. So shout out to the men.
Indeed, man. First and foremost, shout out to that team, man. That, like I said, that was a positive message. Just going off of, just piggybacking off what you said. Granddad always said, choose your mate, choose your fate, right? A lot of people are sitting there chasing the wrong thing. A lot of people, whether it's the king sitting there just chasing a woman for how she shaped or how she looked, the quote unquote bad chick, right? My question is, what qualities within that queen is showing you what you want to see within your child? Vice versa.
Back up. As Martin Lawrence say, stop the press. back up. Go ahead and say that again for the person that's sitting on the back of the church pew.
Man, what qualities within the queen that you're chasing is what you want to see in your child? It shouldn't just solely be about how she's shaped. What's her mind like? Because that's going to be the first teacher that your child has. That's going to be the person that's nurturing that seed that you planted within that soil. Now, on the opposite end, queens chasing men solely for the bag, right? You ain't thinking about what type of leadership this young man has. You ain't looking at what type of integrity he has. So now you can't complain on the back end of it. We all have to take accountability, because my granddad always said, where we at currently is a culmination of the choices that we had. Now I understand we all have different traumas. I understand we come from different types of households, but once you get to a certain age, you got to decide for yourself. Am I going to be the same thing I've seen before? Or am I going to be something better? We have to be the ones that decide to break those generational curses. It's not going to be easy. Because trust me in college, I was doing the same thing. But at the same time, it became a point that a lot of things my granddad was saying, I lost my granddad when I was in college. So I lost my rock. I lost my mentorship. I was going through that dark time, but then I had to realize, all right, cool. He's gone now, so somebody got to pick that flag up. Now, what do I want my son to see? What do I want my two daughters to see? You know what I'm saying? What type of man do I want my son to grow up into be? What type of young queens I want both my daughters to be? Because it's our responsibility to sit there and show that. And there's a lot of good men out there, but at the same time, they're being picked over. Why are they being picked over? Because they're considered lame. All right. Why they lame? Because they deciding to chase their goal. Because they staying focused. Because they're not running right behind it. Same thing about the queens. A lot of men is over picking, going chasing for these I don't want to discredit anybody, but people who are sitting there choosing the wrong things in life, chasing the wrong things in life, right? And they're picking over these beautiful young queens that are literally tapped in and tuned in, and is the right soil for you to build upon, right? But you're not understanding, as soon as you're in a hard time, that chick that you was there chasing in the club, she gonna take you for everything that you got. She gonna destroy everything that you was trying to build, versus having a helpmate, versus having somebody that you're building together. Neither one of y'all are gonna be perfect, but at the same time, y'all are supposed to be sitting there healing energy for each other, providing that safe space, that safe haven for each other. And if you're not doing that, and I can't stand this quote unquote toxic culture relationship. Forget that. If I gotta come home and argue all the time, what am I there for? Everybody talking about I didn't see the red flags. Nah, bro. You seen the red flags from the beginning, but you was chasing that ass though.
That's right. You're right. And you know, I was watching something on Instagram earlier today. I'm gonna tell you what she said. I'm gonna tell you what he said. She said that if a man feel respected, he may not love you, but he is going to grow to love you, and he will fall in love with you because you respect him as a man. And he said, if a woman feels safe and protected, then she's going to love you forever. You know, it can be a genuine love, but won't nobody be able to tell her nothing about her man because she is safe and she's protected. Even when she feel like things are not going well. But if she still feels safe and she's protected, she feels like she can work it out through any situation. So what do you think about those two statements?
Man, I think they're highly true. Honestly, a man who is actually a real man, not just a grown boy, he understands. He's emotionally intelligent. He understands what his emotions is. He's able to communicate that.
You know what, man? He ain't ready for that conversation right there. Listen, man. I love my sisters. I love my queens, and I'm always uplift them. But a lot of women are not ready for a emotionally intelligent man, and a lot of men are not ready for a woman that has an intellect that elevates their mind.
It go back to accountability.
Right.
A lot of people aren't grown enough to assume accountability because it's not pretty. It ain't pretty looking in the mirror and being like, okay, these are my flaws. This is something I need to work on. Your helpmate is supposed to be somebody who also helps you remain accountable. And as far as being a man, being a king, every day it's something that you can be working on. Every day it takes that level of accountability to look in the mirror and be like, all right, I slipped up on this. This is something that I see generationally going on in my family, and I see it in myself. Let me fix this. Okay, my friend circle. If I'm the only person that's trying to have a committed relationship in my friend circle, then I need to remove myself from that circle. Why? Because they want you back in the club with them. They want you back on the block with them. All my partners, they all got a queen. If they going through something, it ain't no problem to hit me up. It ain't no problem for me to hit them up. Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm being told. I need help with this. And not shaming your brother for asking you for guidance and help.
That's right.
And if he ain't got the wisdom, I don't need to be around him. Because my granddad always said, you're the culmination of the 5 people that you hold closest to you. Now, if you look at those 5 people, and for lack of better words, they ain't shit. 9 times out of 10, you the same way. You just don't want to look at it that way.
Listen, man. Oh, boy, listen, boy. So no conversation they ain't ready for. Somebody said, tell me who you hang around, and I'll tell you who you are. Well, which is so true. Which is so true. And somebody say, man, it's funny. It's funny you say that, man, because I know a lot of women that go word for word with men, and I know a lot of men that will sit there and argue with a woman. But if we look at times back in the day, man, a woman didn't argue with a man, or a man wouldn't argue with a woman. That you know what, you got it. We just talk about this when somebody calm down. You know what I mean? And nowadays, you have men putting their hands on women, which is the most cowardly act known to any type of man. And then you have women that act all Brody and put themselves in a man position. And I think they both are wrong on every level. You know what I mean? So it ain't no right or wrong. Don't put your hands on no woman. A woman was not made for that. A woman came through into your life to be a nurturer. She is supposed to be the counselor of men. You know what I mean? And a man is supposed to be the strength for a woman. And so, you don't put your hands on a woman, and you don't disrespect the woman. And, a woman has to understand that she has to respect a male's manhood, because once you snatch his manhood out of his chest, and it snatch his intellectual process from his soul and his mentals, then that sometimes he can't come back from that, no matter what. Oh, people say, they was just words. But words cut deeper than a double-edged sword, man.
Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
If you take a tube of toothpaste and you squeeze it out onto the counter,
mm-hmm.
and I gave you 2 toothpicks and asked you to put that toothpaste back in, could you get all of it back in?
I can't.
Words are the same way. Once they come out, ain't no going back. My granddad always told me, whatever I sit there and say to somebody, whatever I say in a relationship, a friendship, a partnership, business, you gotta be clear and concise.
Mm-hmm.
You have to think everything through, because everything that you feel is not necessarily something that should be said. Because sometimes the things that we feel are things that we need to rectify within ourselves. Because a lot of times when we get mad, we're seeing ourselves in that other person.
Right. So some things are better left unsaid, though. Especially if you all fiery and your emotions then peaked up. Sometimes things are better left unsaid. At that particular moment, you shouldn't say them. But if you want to address it, come back and address it in a respectful manner when you're calm and when you're rational. Because sometimes when you're on fire already, a lot of things that will normally get said, and sometimes you or her can't come back from those things.
Indeed.
So now your stance on community development and how an artist can embrace the community through the platform of music.
First and foremost, being real with yourself and your music. Now, everybody has different backgrounds. Some may be similar, some may be vastly different. But when you're being true with yourself and your music, you're projecting these messages, you're projecting this thought process out and showing somebody who has been through the same thing that you've been through, and showing them that they can do whatever you're doing, showing that they can make it, showing that there is a better path. Sometimes people are stuck in dark places and feel like they're the only person that's going through it.
Mm-hmm.
They can't talk to nobody, whether it be family, whether it be friends, whether it be parents, cousins, whatever, because of, I would say, how in our community there's a lot of judgment. There's a lot of jealousy and envy when people see that light within you.
Right.
They much rather keep you where they know you should have been versus help you elevate, because a lot of people feel like you're gonna leave them behind when that's not in your heart. Now, at the same time, as far as building the community, literally, you have a plethora of options. You can sit there, whether it's, if you sit there and see in your community and you've connected into like athletics. I got a partner from back in law, my homeboy Rico. Man, salute to you, man. One of Queensburg's finest. That man sitting there coaching the youth football team, doing great things with them young boys, teaching them leadership, teaching them manhood from a young age, changing the trajectory of a lot of young men from how it was when we was young. And I know it's like in different areas, whether it's basketball, whether it's academics. There are a bunch of men here in Huntsville. It's a community of black men that come together here in Huntsville, and they sit there in Huntsville, Alabama, and they sit there and teach different skill sets. If it doesn't matter if you pressure wash, it doesn't matter if you sit there and work on cars. It don't matter if you're one of the most financially savvy men around. Whatever it is that you do, you have a skill set, you have a voice, you have a light. My granddad always said, be like chalk in a crowded room. When you move through that room, your presence can be felt just by seeing your walk. You don't have to be the loudest person around. You don't have to be the flashiest person around. Although money and flashy things attract people, but at the same time, your energy is going to attract more people on, and it's going to sit there and leave a longer lasting effect versus you sitting there just flashing money. If you sitting there just flashing money and not understanding or not teaching understanding of the right ways to get to it, how to protect it, and how to pass it on and allow it to continue to grow, you're not doing anything but leading somebody right back into a situation that, by the grace of God, you made it through.
The blind can't never lead the blind.
Facts.
So yeah, man. So that's what's up, man. So I just say, man, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is everything, man. Is everything, and once you understand it, it's understood, and then you can overstand it. You know what I mean? So, we got to continue to really stand on top of business, man. So, our time is about up. So, just tell them where you can, where they can follow you at, and if you have any events coming up and any endeavors that you're working on, just let us know.
Indeed, most definitely. You can catch me on Instagram, Real King Venom, Snapchat, Real King Venom, Twitter, King Venom 87. Most definitely, you can check out my last album or my recent album, King Venom Antisocial Stoner Volume 1, The Lost Tribe, on all streaming platforms. My late brother, Red Zone, first and foremost, long live Red Zone. We actually got his album that we're working on. My bro, he definitely was working. Talking about that man was grinding, and his is still felt. So we definitely want to continue to carry his legacy on for him and his 3 children. His beautiful children doing excellent in school. Salute my niece and nephew, both my niece and my nephews. The event that we got coming up, we have the Mississippi Music, Food, and Trail Ride Festival coming up June 15th. That's Father's Day weekend in Wiggins, Mississippi at the Wiggins Fairgrounds. Man, if you got that solid king in your life, definitely come out, treat him, have the whole family together. We got a good vibe. Security will be enforced, so it's most definitely a family-friendly environment. We got vendors coming from all over, not just the South. We also got independent artists showcasing Mississippi as well as surrounding states and areas. We also got people coming from across the country, so most definitely tap in. Let's show not just Mississippi, Let's show the entire country why Mississippi is the place to be. Needs to be on your tour stop, because there's so much dope. There's so many dope spots in Mississippi. So many dope artists in Mississippi, producers, CEOs, vendors, all these different things that we have coming through our area and through our state. First of all, in music, we are the birth of music. We are the birth of all styles of music. Come on, definitely turn up. We got ATV clubs is coming out, car clubs coming out, bike clubs coming out. So definitely, it's gonna be an event. It's gonna be a movie.
All right, you heard it first, man. Exquisite Conversations with King Jacob, King Venom, in the absence of Pavani J, Exquisite PR Firm CEO. And just want to thank you guys for tuning in and tapping in with us. And, I want y'all to stay blessed, stay stress-free, and most of all, just understand that you are somebody that can make an impact. Peace and blessings. We out of here.
Yes, sir.